So, you want to try out LARP for the first time, but you're probably wondering, where do I find one? Do I need any gear? Should I feel nervous? Is it anything like that movie starring Paul Rudd and Sheen Williams?
Oh, fuck me. All right, you got it. I got you.
Well, in today's serving of LARP, I'll be able to tell you a few things you'll need to know for your very first game of LARP. First thing you want to do is to find a LARP group. Many LARP groups operate on Facebook, so you can easily find one by going to the events section of Facebook and type in LARP or LARP event or LARP fighting, and should be able to find a LARP group that is operating or having an event that's near your location. There is also LARP community groups, which can help you out where to find a LARP group that's near you as well, and I'll have a link to those groups in the description down below. Second thing you want to do is to start reading the rules and the lore of the LARP you want to play at. This should help you start familiarizing with the type of LARP you're going to play at, if it's role-playing heavy or combat heavy. Although it can be quite daunting to try to memorize the whole rulebook for your very first game, don't stress too much about it. It is your first game after all, and you'll have your fellow veteran LARP players that will help you along the way to clarify some rules during your first game. An important note for your first game is to don't buy any gear yet. After all, you are trying something new for the first time, and you don't know if you're ever going to like it or not at the end of the day. It's like playing paintball for the first time, and you've spent well over thousands of dollars, even on the paintball gun alone, just to play one game of paintball, and you don't like it, and you never play it again, and you waste so much money on gear that you never use. So for your first game, most LARP groups will have rentable weapons and clothing for a couple of extra dollars, so you don't have to worry about not looking the part for your first game. This was me in my first LARP game back in 2018. From the sword to the tabard and the cape, it was all rentable gear. So I was looked after pretty well for my first game. And even if you have a friend who plays LARP and invites you over, that person should be able to loan you some of their weapons and their gear, so you can save you up on some bit of money for the meantime. Now, depending on the LARP group you're going to be playing at, if it's roleplay heavy, you may need to create a character for your first game. I'll make a guide on how to create a character for LARP eventually, but you can always ask the LARP group for help, as well as the LARP admins, so you can get some inspiration about what type of character you want to play as. Would you be chaotic good or lawful evil? What skills are available to you, and the background of that character. The important next step is to show up. Although it can be somewhat nervous and nerve-wracking to try something new with people we haven't met, which is understandable, just want to let you know that the LARP community is kind, helpful, and welcoming, especially to new players. So if you still feel a little bit nervous or unsure if you want to go or not, go anyway, and you may find yourself being relaxed and welcomed in no time. The last thing you'll need to know is after you show up and gear up, you'll be taken through new player training. And this is important for new players, as it'll teach you important things you need to know, such as how to strike properly, combat safety, and important calls the admins will use during the game, such as timeout, time freeze, and code red. So you won't be thrown in the deep end for your very first game of LARP. And that's it. Hopefully I'll be able to teach you a couple of things for your very first game of LARP. In summary, find a LARP group, read the rules, don't buy any gear yet, create a character, show up, and you'll be taken through newbie training for your first game. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, tells me I'm doing a good job, and hopefully you learned something as well. If you want to see more LARP videos, you can check out my channel, as well as hit that subscribe button for future LARP videos. And tell me about your very first LARP experience. I want to know what your first LARPing game was like. I'm Butler, farewell, and take care.